There's a certain event contract on PolyMarket that insiders jokingly refer to as the Jesus Bond. As of this writing, it puts the odds of Christ returning to Earth by the end of the year at a surprisingly high 4%, which means that if you were to bet $1,000 against it happening, you'd be virtually guaranteed to make a $40 profit, or you'd have bigger things to worry about than money. The moniker comes from the fact that you're getting about the same amount of interest with as little risk as a US Treasury bond.
If you don't know what the heck all that means, we got you. Prediction markets are online platforms where you can essentially place wagers on whether or not certain events will happen. The variety of events you can bet on is vast. Sports matches, election outcomes, weather events, entertainment awards. They can be serious, like military invasions, frivolous like a pop star's wedding venue, or totally meaningless like how many times Elon Musk will tweet this weekend.
In the last year, prediction markets have quickly gone from a niche financial oddity to a major industry. The main ones in the US, PolyMarket and Kalshi, have partnered with big news outlets like the Wall Street Journal, CNN, and CNBC. In January 2026, over $1.5 billion worth of trades occurred over the Super Bowl alone.
It seems like the future is bright for prediction markets, and yet something doesn't quite add up for me.
What's that?
Well, it's like that Jesus bond. When you get income from a treasury bond, that's the government paying you interest for loaning them money. But who's paying for the Jesus bond?
The answer to that question points to a fundamental catch-22 of prediction markets. One that some say could make this betting frenzy short-lived.
Can I put money on that?
Although we've been using words like wager and bet, prediction markets are technically not classified as gambling by the US government, but as derivatives markets. Instead of placing bets, you buy event contracts, yes-no positions, whose price is a reflection of what the market thinks is its likelihood of coming true. So if a yes position that Taylor Swift will get hitched in Tuscany is going for 30 cents a share, that means that the community of traders thinks there's a 30% chance it will happen. If I buy 100 of these at 30 cents each, and she does in fact get married in Tuscany, then each becomes worth $1, netting me a profit of $70. If she gets married elsewhere, then my shares become worthless.
Unlike bets, you can sell event contracts before the event is resolved. So if Taylor Swift happens to mention that the wedding will be somewhere in Europe, more people will buy the event contract, pushing the value of my shares up to 70 cents each. I can hold on to them and wait for the final result, or I can sell them early for a profit of $40.
This system puts prediction markets in a kind of gray zone in between casinos and stock markets, not subject to either the Securities and Exchange Commission or state gambling laws. Instead, they're overseen by a smaller agency called the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. This lax regulatory environment has fostered what some say is a growing pattern of insider trading.
In October of 2025, several bets were made on PolyMarket that long-shot candidate Maria Corina Machado would win the Nobel Peace Prize, just hours before it was announced. A couple months later, an anonymous user made an extremely risky but extremely lucrative bet that the musical artist David would be Google's most searched person of the year. A month after that, another anonymous user made over $400,000 betting that Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro would be ousted only hours before the US military removed him from power. And the day before the US and Israel launched a war against Iran, there was an unusual flurry of betting that just such a strike would occur by the end of the next day.
In each of these cases, there was widespread speculation that the profitable trades were made by insiders, like a Google employee, a member of the Nobel Committee, or a Pentagon official who decided to leverage their access to privileged information for a nice little payday. In more traditional, more regulated markets, such insider trading is strictly prohibited because it damages market integrity and weakens investor confidence. If you have reason to believe that other people are using non-public information to gain an unfair advantage, you'll be much less likely to invest your own hard-earned dollars. That's bad for the market and the economy in general. In the absence of explicit laws against it, some prediction markets have instituted their own safeguards against insider trading. But thanks to the inherent anonymity of the system, it's pretty hard to enforce. However, some proponents of prediction markets think that insider trading shouldn't be condemned, but encouraged.
The argument is based on two fundamental precepts: the wisdom of the crowd and financial incentives. If you can get enough people to take part and force them to be really honest by having skin in the game, you're going to get predictions that are more reliable than you can get from traditional sources. Polling, for example, just measures who people want to win elections. But event traders with money at stake have to put aside their biases and pick who they really think will win. Experts and analysts are under pressure to give opinions about everything, even when they're not that sure. But prediction markets allow users to assign dollar values to their confidence levels, resulting in more accurate forecasts.
In this formulation, insider trading is good, actually, because it means that people with the very best information have been incentivized to join the game. PolyMarket's 28-year-old CEO said, "What's cool about PolyMarket is that it creates this financial incentive for people to go and divulge the information to the market." But even if you buy that argument, and even if you believe that prediction markets are as accurate as the hype claims, which is debatable, there's an even more fundamental problem that rarely gets talked about. Who's paying for all this?
In traditional stock markets, if a bunch of investors buy shares in a company and the company innovates and grows, creating jobs and products that people like, everyone wins. It's not a zero-sum game. But prediction markets are more like poker, where you play directly against the other players. In order for one player to win, another player has to lose.
This brings us back to the Jesus bond. If I win $40 by betting that Jesus won't return by the end of the year, that money is coming from someone who bet that he would.
But who are these people? I mean, even if you have a deep religious conviction that the end times are upon us, your winnings won't get raptured up with you. It just doesn't make any sense.
Some of it may be just speculation. Some traders buy, yes, positions, not because they think the event will happen, but because they think the odds will go up enough for them to sell and make a profit. If you got in when the odds were 1%, you quadrupled your money.
Although that kind of violates the ostensible reason that prediction markets exist: to make accurate predictions.
Whether it's a speculator or a true believer, come January 1st, 2027, someone will be left holding the bag. You may not feel bad for that person, but they are a necessary part of the system. The losers are paying for the whole party. And in order to keep the party going, we need the losers to keep losing. And this is where the catch-22 comes in.
Think about it like poker. If you invite a professional poker player to your casual Thursday night game, it might be a fun novelty at first, but if they show up every week and consistently take everyone else's money, your regular players will eventually get frustrated and quit the game.
The same dilemma applies to prediction markets. If you want the smartest people with the best information to join the game, there has to be enough money on the table to make it worthwhile. In other words, you need a lot of losers. But if those losers suspect that they're playing against people with inside information, they'll realize they're outmatched and cash out.
Even if there were a way to eliminate insider trading, it doesn't really solve the problem. The big winners in prediction markets take it very, very seriously. Many are experts in their field or professional statisticians. A casual trader doesn't stand a chance against these types. And yet the pros need the amateurs to keep playing, or there won't be enough chips in the pot.
Some say that this paradox means that prediction markets are doomed to fail, or at least have a limit on their growth. But there is a solution: advertising. Just as FanDuel and DraftKings pummel their target demographic, young men, with commercials, there is already a wide ecosystem of blogs, podcasts, live streams, and subreddits dedicated to keeping casual bettors optimistic about their chances and enticing new players to replace the ones who've wised up or ran out of money, much of which is coincidentally produced by pro traders with a distinct financial interest in swelling the ranks of the noobs.
Much like with crypto, NFTs, and meme stocks, you could look at all this as just an online community bonded by their enthusiasm for a new financial instrument. or a sophisticated loser creation machine. Diamond hands for thee, rug pulls for me.
This is not to say that amateurs can't do well in prediction markets. Maybe there are some of you watching who've made some successful bets. But societies don't normally prosper from zero-sum games. Successful markets are places where individuals can make money while contributing to overall economic growth. But the only product of prediction markets, other than a transfer of wealth from amateurs to insiders, is supposedly the creation of more accurate forecasts.
While there are some examples of prediction market forecasts being used internally by corporations to reduce waste, there's little evidence of practicable, widespread social benefit. And some studies have actually questioned their accuracy. After all, in each of the previously mentioned incidents, the inside traders were only able to score a big payday because the prevailing forecast was so wrong.
Maybe the US government doesn't technically see prediction markets as gambling, but it's smart for individuals to look at it that way. Which is to say, if you're gonna do it in moderation with money you can afford to lose.
After all, there's a saying in poker that if you look around the table and can't tell who the sucker is you.
And that's our 2 cents.
Thanks to our patrons for keeping 2 cents financially healthy. Click the link in the description to become a 2 cents patron.